Kanakitpet and welcome to SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Dennis Allen. 20 years ago, the Inuvialuit of the Western Arctic signed an historic land claim agreement with the federal government of Canada, creating an opportunity for us to become equal and meaningful participants within the Canadian economy. And we've grown to become industry leaders within the Canadian Aboriginal community. And with that comes opportunities for us to enter into non-traditional roles. Two Inuvialuit who took advantage of this were Ruby Okheena and Robert Lennie. They work for Canadian North Airlines, a subsidiary of the Norterra Group of companies, owned jointly by the Inuvialuit Development Corporation and the Nunasi Corporation of Nunavut. We hope you enjoy our program. Welcome to SUAANGAN, Our Strength, right here on APTN.
Morning guys.
Good morning.
We're doing flight 444 today from Edmonton to Inuvik. We're in airplane 523. First Officer Workman's here with us today. We'll be about an hour and 40 minutes on the way today. Flight plan's now showing a nice smooth ride. Cruise altitude of 32,000 feet. And doesn't look like there's anything wrong with the airplane that concerns you. And the weather up there is clear skies and minus 35 degrees.
Good weather all the way.
Nice day, it's back on time. Very good.
After that, I know I have the fourth.
Hi, my name's Ruby Okheena and I'm from Holman.
My Christmas party, but that didn't work out, so.
I'm a Canadian North flight attendant. I've been a flight attendant with this company for 2.5 years.
Then I could come with you and Pierre.
Because I got Christmas off, I don't have any extra days off beginning of the month.
Do our checks now. Get it done. The first thing we do when we come on board is do our safety checks, and I'll just walk through them with you. I'll start at the back here, and we check our water, check our lights, check our emergency equipment here, make sure everything's working, and it's all good there.
What's in there, Ruby? What's the emergency equipment?
Oh, we have our life vests here and our emergency landing checklist. And then we check our slide, see if it's okay. We do our, back here we have the passenger briefing system.
Welcome on board Canadian North.
And that's working. We dim the lights, do a mic check, check. And we call the other flight attendant at the front, which I don't think is there, but that's okay, I guess. And we check our emergency equipment in here, make sure everything's working. And everything seems to be okay in there.
My checks start right about here, my first aid. Checking the first aid. Hi, I'm Robert Lennie from Inuvik. And it's there. Checking the window exits. I started the same time as Ruby. We went to training together 2.5 years ago. Can only go so far. Just to have a clear path to the exits. And to the front.
Just checking our lights here, our ovens, and we do a lab check. We check the smoke detector, the passenger call system, and check under here to make sure everything's working. And then we usually do our, catering check, make sure we have all of our food for the day, our coffee makers, and just make sure that we have all of our coffee and all of our supplies for the day. And that's basically about it for me.
I was working for ICC in Inuvik, and they had a career fair. I was at the career fair and met with Joyce Hansen, and she suggested I try for it. And I did think about it before, and I sent them my resume, had an interview about the same time as Ruby, and been enjoying it ever since.
My name is Shelley Sackey. I'm the Director of In-Flight Services for Canadian North Airlines.
Fire extinguisher, oxygen mask, check, see if everything's all right.
The In-Flight Services Department is responsible for the recruitment, the training of all the flight attendants in accordance with Transport Canada regulations, as well as the onboard services, including catering and the cabin cleanliness.
Yeah, we have one coffee maker here, 2 places for ovens, pop canisters, and then they put the trays down here.
Canadian North is definitely encouraging our beneficial shareholder flight attendants to apply. We take applications and resumes on an ongoing basis. We're a relatively small company right now, and we have a slow and rapid growth. The
garbage dispenser here, and just from the heat, it will automatically spray.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board Canadian North Flight 445, shortly departing for Inuvik. Our main entry door is now closed. In command of the aircraft is Captain John Hankirk. Assistant Captain Hankirk is First Officer Shane Workman. Our flying time to Inuvik will be approximately 45 minutes, flown at planned cruising altitudes of up to 28,000 feet. Currently, the temperature is -30. Have a lot in place to encourage the hiring of beneficial shareholders. We have experienced historically a little bit of difficulty in finding our shareholders to have the confidence to come and apply for the positions. We have an ongoing communication with some of our communities in the north, including colleges and high schools, and we're trying to integrate more and build relationships more with those high schools and community colleges to show them what we can offer Canadian North in terms of a career, long-term career as a flight attendant. They were doing interviews in Inuvik while I was living there, and I talked to Wander Norwegian from Norterra, did an interview with Shelley and Todd, and that's how I came on.
SUAANGAN Our Strength will be right back here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN Our Strength here on APTN. We're using some of our existing beneficial shareholder flight attendants to come out to these job fairs and these school fairs to show them, hey, you can do this. I did it, you can do it too. And we're really proud of our shareholders that we have here at Canadian North, 2 of which you met today, Robert and Ruby.
Seatbelt and no smoking.
Just the people, seeing people from up north, meeting new people. Traveling.
My name is Trina McLeod, and I'm the in-flight supervisor for Canadian North Airlines.
And to release the seatbelt, lift the upper.
I spend time flying with the flight attendants on board the aircraft, just making sure if they have everything that they need on board, and if there's any ways that we can improve our service. I also am part of the interview process. And also bringing our new flight attendants into the base and making sure that they have everything that they need to perform their duties on board the aircraft.
Well, when we got to Calgary, we had in-class training. We went through what happens during a flight and what's expected from a flight attendant. We went through all of our emergency drills. And it was about 3 weeks.
Three and a half weeks
long.
Yeah.
And it was quite intense, but very enjoyable. And it certainly taught you about, how challenging this job is. But it's also a job that I enjoy very much. And I love working for this company.
They go to Calgary and they take their 3 weeks training, and then when they come to Edmonton, they'll have just a familiarization day where they'll see the crew room, they'll go on board the aircraft, just so that they're not nervous for their first day of work. They'll meet a few crew members, they know where to park, that type of thing.
And Inuvialuit was closed, the city was shut down.
For weather.
For weather, there was a blizzard.
Actually, some of them were quite upset, but what can you do? We we taxed it out and we taxed it back in.
Initially, it was a little bit of a challenge just because moving down to the south, it's very difficult. It's a different situation for them. It's a bigger city. Everything's more fast-paced. But just over the last 3 years, I feel that we've accomplished a lot with our beneficial shareholders, with the new programs that we're going to be putting into place, and just making friends and learning myself, learning the culture better. When I first started, it was difficult for me. I didn't realize the culture very well, and now I've become more friends with the flight attendants from the north, just being able to understand where they come from and their type of needs, and yeah.
I enjoy living in the city because, you know, everything you need is here. It's cheap, everything's so accessible. You know, shopping, hair salons, movies, dining, you know, all of that entertainment that you don't get in a small community. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
It's definitely a benefit working for an airline because if you have moved from the north to the south, and we fly to those communities that these flight attendants have moved from, they have a really great opportunity to travel home on their days off. And because they have a lot of flexibility in their schedule, they can easily travel back home to see their family and friends. And that is one of the great benefits because it's a reduced rate travel. And not only on Canadian North, but after short-term employment, they also have the opportunity to travel on other airlines at reduced rates as well.
We get about 12 guest passes for just any of our guests that want to travel on Canadian North. As an employee, I get unlimited pleasure passes, and I also have my niece signed up as my companion, so she has unlimited travel. She lives in Yellowknife, so she comes down to visit me.
Our parents, and if we had children, would be able to travel unlimited as well. So that's a really good, you know, perk for working for this company.
They fly anywhere between 14 and 18 days a month. We have two different aircraft at Canadian North, the Boeing 737, which is based in Edmonton, but some of our flight attendants in Edmonton may fly the F-28 aircraft. So as I say, it's 14 to 18 days, and the shift, it's basically shift work, and they can fly anywhere between 6 hours to 12 hours. We have one run called the Valley, and that's from Edmonton to Inuvik, and that stops in Yellowknife and Norman Wells. And that's single day. We don't have a lot of overnights compared to most airlines. It's more you're home every night. You can spend time with your family if your family chooses to move down south. I like it because I'm able to put my daughter in bed at night and spend time with her. With all the benefits and the pay, it being so cheap in the south compared to the north. It is.
We're quite comfortable with what we make, and our, you know, dental, health, all of that is taken care of. So we're in a good situation.
My name is Dennis Gould. I'm currently the manager of airport operations for Canadian North. I manage Edmonton, and also the base managers report to me from all the other bases that we fly to. I had two beneficial shareholders we hired. One of them transferred approximately a year ago to become a flight attendant, and I had another one that just transferred to become a full-time flight attendant in the last 2 months. The other options in Edmonton is as a ticket agent. They basically come to our ticket counter and responsible for checking in the passengers that are traveling on Canadian North. And with that, they do all the gate functions, and they also get trained in weight and balance and operations.
This is our operations room. This is where we do all the weight and balance for the aircraft and take in all the call-ins for the numbers.
And what are you doing right now?
Right now I'm building a flight for Divik, which is flight 9412.
And what involves building a flight?
Basically it's all of our passengers and cargo that's going up to Divik and back.
The salary is very competitive with other airlines, which is very fortunate given the state of the industry. We also have a comprehensive benefit plan as well for things like medical, dental, and short-term, long-term disability, that type of thing. And there is a progression in the pay. So for the first 6 months, you're at a salary. It will increase after 6 months, and then every year for 5 years. Again, you can make a very nice living. Again, with the flexibility of schedule, it is a wonderful career to have.
When I moved here, I stayed in Leduc and rented a room from one of the crew, and it wasn't too bad. I was used to living on my own, having my own place. I stayed there for about 3 months and then moved into the city on the south side and got my own place.
They have training once a year for annual training, just recurrent, reviewing everything that they need to do in Calgary, which is what they need to do on board the aircraft. We also have CRM training, which is crew resource management. It just brings everyone together as a team, the pilots, the flight attendants. They take that once a year.
Canadian North is the only airline in North America who has approval from a regulatory body, which in our case is Transport Canada, to deliver a portion of our initial training online. So it's a computer-based training program. And this way we can reach somebody anywhere in the world can take this training on a computer-based program. It's monitored by an instructor on the other end. It has criteria for pass and fail, and it covers about 75% of the regulations. So when we go to recruit, what we can do is we can go to those who have successfully completed that online training program and select from that group to interview and then to put them through the ground school training, which is now only going to be approximately 3 weeks of training. Some airlines are still doing 2 months worth of training, and we can eliminate all of that time that's done online and get right into the classroom, do our emergency procedures, first aid training, and then get them on an aircraft, get them familiar with the day-to-day operations, and get them qualified and get them going. And we have had amazing success. We still meet all the regulatory requirements that every airline has to meet. We just do it quicker, we do it more efficient, and we do it better.
SUAANGAN Our Strength will be right back here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN Our Strength here on APTN.
It's pretty easy to get around with the bus, and everything's just right in the area. I have a car now, so it's a little more easy.
Driving in the city?
I like it. I started driving in the city when I was young, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, I had lived in the south before, so it wasn't a huge deal to move here. My roommate Inuvialuit and I, at that time, we had no problem finding a place, basically. We were here on a weekend and we had moved into our apartment by Monday. No difficulties. Leduc is small, you know, a smaller city, so it's really easy to get around. We can walk to the grocery store, to the video store. Any place you want basically is in walking distance, so it was very easy for me to move here.
We also have a shift that goes over the top, Yellowknife to Edmonton, Yellowknife to Rankin to Inuvialuit to Ottawa. And it's a long run, but you really get a chance to see everyone in the different communities, and they have a day off in Ottawa and do a little touring around and then fly back.
Based out of Edmonton, we go, we do the Valley, which is from Edmonton, Yellowknife, Norman Wells, Inuvik return. And we check in at 7, we depart at 8, and we're usually back in Edmonton by 6:30. We do both diamond mines, Divek and Acadie, Cambridge Bay, over the top, which is out of Edmonton to Yellowknife, Rankin, and Inuvialuit, Ottawa. And that one is usually a 3-day pairing. And just last month, they started charters to Laughlin, Nevada.
Well, I don't have a vehicle, I don't drive, so I live in Leduc, which is a different situation from Robert, and like I said, everything is walking distance for me, and if I need to get to work, if I'm, co-workers give me a ride, or I'll take a cab or a shuttle, so not a big deal. Every month, we bid for the days that we want off, and then our crew scheduling works around that and schedules our days. So during the month, you're probably working 17 days and, not straight, but, you have your days off and then you go to work, and some days off and then you're at work again. So about 17 days at work, and the rest is your time, your own time. So it's a good lifestyle, definitely.
The other benefits are working with the people that own Canadian North, the northern people, and seeing those people from their communities and the excitement on their faces when they see somebody that they maybe went to school with or maybe they babysat, and they're my flight attendant on Canadian North today. Amazing, amazing excitement for both the flight attendants and for the passengers. If we want to put 12 people through that online training program, say they're in Holman or they're in Inuvik or Tuktoyaktuk, we can do that without them ever coming to our facility. And we can mentor them through that program, and based on their success, we can actually invite them now to the South to take the training. So it's something we're doing today, but with the pre-flight program I spoke of earlier, we'll actually bring them south first and make sure they have all the technology they need to be able to go back home and do the actual training. So we're going to incorporate that into our recruitment process. So.
For any kids that are thinking about quitting school in the North, we both would strongly encourage kids to stay in school, because if you're going to move away from your community, having an education and finding a job in the South makes it so much easier. It opens so many doors, and, just gives you that life experience, things that you need in order to, move away and be your own person, I guess, away from home. So staying in school really is the way to go.
Well, that was our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have an interest in working within the airline industry, and we've seen all the benefits today, there are several ways to contact people who can help you make that decision. If you are online, go to Canadian North's website at www.cdn/north.com or www.norterra.com. Or you can call the Human Resources person at Norterra Incorporated at 780-425-6900 or email at norterra.com. Tune in again next week for more of SUAANGAN Our Strength right here on APTN. Until then, I'm your host, Dennis Allen. Kuya naini.